As nice as it is to think that movies made for kids aren't bogged down with secret meanings or dark themes, movie fans can see their childhood favorites in a completely different light once they take a second look. Whether it's intended or not, these theories are too good to leave unexamined. Wait until you hear the last one. You won't even believe it. Here are Screen Rant's 10 movie theories that completely changed children's films. Peter Pan. When people think Disney mermaids, the ones in the animated version of Neverland aren't the first ones that come to mind. But they were the first, showing their talent for troublemaking, a distrust for mortals, and a fear of pirates. And one of them looks an awful lot like Ariel, the star of The Little Mermaid. So much that fans have theorized that it's actually Ariel's mother, Athena. The mother isn't introduced until the straight-to-video sequel, where she is eventually killed by, you guessed it, pirates. If the story is true, then she really should have stayed in Neverland. Finding Nemo. It's a happy story, but Finding Nemo begins with a heartbreaking scene, as Nemo's mother is killed along with the rest of her eggs, leaving Nemo to be raised by his father Marlin. At least that's what you're meant to think. But after watching Marlin's whole adventure, some have pointed out that it's a close parallel to the stages of grief, as in the way he would have to come to terms with losing Nemo too. Was Marlin searching for an imaginary son the entire time, unable to accept that he lost his entire family? There wasn't much actual evidence to support it in the story, but it's too dark not to mention. Back to the Future. Nobody ever asked how a teenage boy and an elderly scientist and failed inventor became best friends. But there wasn't much time before Doc Brown sent Marty McFly back in time to wonder. Take a closer look at the DeLorean's first trip through time. Doc makes Marty stand beside him, staring down the speeding car, with it disappearing just in time. Since every other one of his inventions failed, fans claim he would have had to think the same might happen here. Apparently, Doc had reached his breaking point, making sure that if this invention was also a bust, he wouldn't live to make another. And he'd be taking Marty with him. Talk about heavy.
You're alive.
Willy Wonka. Even fans would agree. There's something very off about Willy Wonka. But some people claim that Wonka isn't just weird, but a cold-blooded killer. He never seems too surprised when the children on his factory tour wind up hurt or possibly killed. Once fans realized that his Oompa Loompas would have needed time to rehearse their songs describing which children were harmed and how, the theory was complete. Long before the Saw movies, there was Willy Wonka and his chocolate factory death trap. Only kids allowed. Star Wars. You don't have to be a kid to love Star Wars, but George Lucas clearly hoped that one character in his prequel trilogy, Jar Jar Binks, would be a hit with young fans. Instead, he became a punching bag for the prequels as a whole. But what if fans were right to hate on the Kung and Klutz? It may sound like a long shot, but the theory that Jar Jar was faking his stupidity and working for the dark side all along has gained a lot of steam. The Darth Jar Jar theory even made it to Lucas himself. But if it's true that Jar Jar and the Emperor were working together all along, he's not letting the secret out anytime soon. Toy Story. The toys take the spotlight in Pixar's series, but there are humans too. Andy, the boy who owns the toys, and his mother and sister. But most fans have wondered about Andy's father. It's nothing new for a Disney movie to have a parent or two out of the picture, but it's never explained or even mentioned. Some fans have taken that fact as a sign that Andy's father either left the family or passed away long before the first movie, explaining his connection to the strong, honorable father figure dolls like Buzz and Woody. One Pixar writer has supported that idea, so this theory isn't as far-fetched as some might think. Spider-Man. It may not be a kid's movie, but Spider-Man remains extremely popular with today's youth. Peter Parker's journey from geek to superhero is a dream come true for every comic book nerd. But when he hit the big screen, some fans think it was a more universal story being told. Peter doesn't start getting powers until he hits high school, when he starts getting serious feelings for a childhood crush, grows into a man's body overnight, and starts spending more and more time alone in his room. It seems a pretty clear metaphor for boys hitting puberty. At least that's what some claim. Even without the sticky webbing, it's a hard case to argue with. Harry Potter. Most of the magical spells in the Harry Potter series were created from scratch, but the most evil curse actually sounds familiar. But why would the killing curse sound just like Abracadabra, one of the most well-known magic spells in the world? Fans have connected the dots, deducing that wizards and witches weren't always kind to muggles. Those are non-magic people for non-Harry Potter fans. Some imagine they even killed everyday people for sport. More optimistic fans claim the curse was used to kill infections before muggles got wise to magic, so fans can take their pick.
Neville Longbottom.
But it isn't just Harry Potter who makes it out as the hero of the series, thanks to one fan theory based directly on the books. Most fans will remember Neville Longbottom as a bumbling but lovable sidekick who eventually let his good heart make up for his lack of magic. But remember, a wizard's wand matters too. That's why it's supposed to choose its user. Neville chose to use his father's wand instead, which was probably the reason for his disastrous magic. It was only after he purchased a wand of his own that he joined Dumbledore's army, battled Death Eaters, and became an all-around top-tier wizard. Turns out Neville was a master spellcaster the entire time. Home Alone. We've saved the most incredible theory for last. Everyone knows how Kevin McAllister survived a Christmas home alone, using paint cans, nails, tar, and blowtorches to turn his house into a torture chamber for 2 burglars. But it wasn't his last. That's right, some fans believe Kevin grew up to become Jigsaw, the murderous mastermind of the Saw movie series.
You guys give up, or you're thirsty for more?
Once you factor in Kevin's serious rage issues, it's the best kind of theory. One that makes both movies seem even more amazing, whether it's true or not. Those are some of the most entertaining and convincing theories based on kids' movies that we've found. But which ones have you missed? Let us know in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more Screen Rant videos like this one.